Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your authority and convert with ease. Today's tip is rehearse or die. I'm too embarrassed to put out my podcast. Fact. Your first recording sounds like crap. You hate the sound of your own voice. You sound like an idiot. You think no one's going to know what the hell you're even talking about. Everything about it is awful. I know the feeling. We've all been there. It's totally normal. But there's big intimidation stepping up to the mic for the very first time. You've talked to people before in normal conversations without sounding like a fool, but all of a sudden you get performance anxiety when you have to record yourself? Good news, you can relax now. I'm here to tell you as your podcast coach, you're probably right. The recordings you made stink. They should and will be deleted. And I know this from working with brand new podcasters who are just starting out. The first thing they record is almost always garbage. In fact, I call it the Barf sessions. And just like Barf, you need to get it out of your system, you know what I mean? You'll feel better. Today, I'm going to tell you what your rehearsal should entail. Practicing your podcast might go a few different ways. You might put on a voice that isn't yours and start sounding like a professional broadcaster and suddenly start sounding like Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey. What the hell is all that about? Stop it! Or you'll try to use a lower voice because it makes you sound more authoritative. A friend of mine actually tried to talk like this for an entire hour doing an interview and ended up losing her voice after a while. That wasn't very smart. Or you might get so deep into your content that you lose your sense of communication and sound like a robot because you're reading and could have just used a text-to-voice app to read your show and likely would have gotten the same outcome. So how do you get past this point? How do you reach the point of having something you feel proud to release? You rehearse. When I work with clients in my Concept to Casting podcast launch program, this is step 5. Step 5 is all about rehearsal because you can't be expected to just lay down gold the very first time you hit record. You need to find your voice, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is to practice. You want to try to find the place where you're comfortable, a place where you sound natural presenting your material or conducting an interview. And this takes time. I'll give my clients sometimes 2 weeks for this process before we start laying down real episodes. And that might mean 3 or 4 recordings of the same episode or different variations of them. So here are a few different methods you can use to rehearse. Fully script your show, or maybe just parts of it like the opening and closing and have bullet points in between. Yes, just like an Oreo cookie. For more on this technique, check out episode 10 of Just the Tip, Should You Script Your Podcast? Rehearsing could also look like doing interviews with family or friends, or a potential guest you already have a relationship with that would be willing to do a practice interview and then come back at a later date for a real episode. This exercise will allow you to practice listening to a guest, reacting, and interacting with them. Rehearsing also lets you get comfortable with the technical side of things. You're going to be doing a lot of recording, so figuring it out before your launch is crucial. And as you listen back to these first recordings, you'll instantly hear things that you'll be able to improve on. You might need more energy or need to slow down a little, but one rehearsal isn't enough. Don't expect to be perfect out of the gate, but don't release crap because you were too lazy to put in the practice time. That's not the impression you want to give. No one is going to hit the subscribe button after hearing you boot around your show like an amateur. What you're going for is sounding natural, comprehensible, and authentic. If you're still not sure you've found your voice after rehearsing, get a second set of ears. Someone who's going to call you out. That's what I do as a podcast coach. So if you're planning your show or haven't started your show yet and you'd like to know how that rehearsal step fits into my bigger program, book a free 15-minute call with me and I'll walk you through it. Either way, the lesson is before you launch, rehearse. You've got to be able to crawl before you walk or you'll fall flat on your face. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Thanks for listening to Just the Tip. Don't forget to subscribe. And to find out more about my Concept to Casting podcast launch program, book your free 15-minute coaching call. My calendar is only a click away. Just go to podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Walberg. See ya!